Welcome to Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver with Amy Decker and Shane Silver. Join us on each show where you're going to enjoy a lively conversation that's going to connect you to the tools and resources that you'll need to coordinate care for the seniors in your life. We are so happy that you joined us. Hi, welcome to Senior Strategies. We're so happy that you joined us. My name is Amy Decker, and I am the Director of Client Services with Senior Helpers of South Palm Beach County.
And I am Shane Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams, and I am a caregiver.
We are so happy that you joined us. We're hoping that you are enjoying this journey with us. We are loving that the guests that we're having on, I know each week we have somebody different on that hopefully you'll glean some sort of information from them. And we also try to think of little points to talk about before the show too. I know dealing with in mostly memory care, assisted living, we have a lot of our clients have dementia. And one of the biggest things, I think what we talked about maybe 2 weeks ago, is they don't want to bathe. It's hard to get them to take a shower, to get them to bathe. This week, I wanted to talk about when they say constantly, I want to go home. This isn't my home. I want to go home. I miss my family. What can I do? And so I did a little bit of research on that. Teepa Snow also has some great YouTube videos that talk about just that. But the biggest thing is they're feeling very disoriented at the time. They're anxious and they're looking for the desire of the comfort that they have when they lived at home. So although they're saying, I want to go home, they're missing that feeling of what it's like to be at home is what they're longing for.
And one of the things that we learn about Alzheimer's is that the part of your brain where you retain those feelings is often the last thing that's affected. So they forget the memory. They may not remember what home looks like, but they remember that feeling, usually safety, comfort, familiarity.
Right. And so the first thing that you should do when they're voicing this, I want to go home, is acknowledge it. Don't argue and say, you are home. This is your home. You live here with us now. I keep telling you. Acknowledge it. I know you want to go home. That's a normal feeling. It's a normal feeling to feel like you're at home, but you're safe here with me. Reassure them you're safe here with me. You're with me. I'm going to take good care of you. And then even at that point, you can say, hey, let's go have a cup of tea, or let's go have a cookie, or let's go look outside. It looks like the ducks are back in the yard. If you can distract, that's great. It doesn't usually go that simple, but acknowledging that they want to be home is the biggest thing, and saying it. So you're saying that you want to go home. Now they've been heard. And I think that's the biggest thing. They just want to be heard.
It is. And my mother has that a lot. We experience that a lot with her. Anytime we take her out of her assisted living community, whether it's to my house or to dinner, or my daughter and I took her shopping a couple weekends ago, usually at about that 40 to 45 minute mark, that's where she starts questioning, when are we going home? I don't want to miss lunch, or I don't want to miss dinner, or who's going to take me home? How am I getting home? Is it time to go?
Right.
I can usually tell that's about all that we get before she starts obsessing about it's time to go home.
And it's the feeling. Wherever they are, if they're feeling anxious, they want to feel that comfort that they're at home again. Another thing you can do is share engaging memories. You can say, do you remember when that we went home and we did this or that? Do you remember when we baked, when we did this or that? One of the favorite activities in the memory care that I like to do is have families donate as many pictures as they can of family members to mail them to the memory care, and then you get a poster board and you have them glue it on the poster board and have them write the person's name that's in that picture. So it's not only an activity, but it's something heartwarming that's bringing back memories, maybe where those pictures came from, weddings or births, and then they can put the name underneath it. So when they're in their room and they are feeling lonely or they're missing their family, they've got something to look at that's tangible that has their family members on it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it really is. They love it. A glue stick and some pictures from the family and a giant poster board. It's the best. Or you can even, now you can't always do this because I know in South Florida, most everybody down here comes from up north, New York, New Jersey. But it did mention on the website that I was looking at is see if you can actually take them by their house, take them by a restaurant that they liked, bring them somewhere. But again, pictures can do.
Right. pictures
can do that as well.
miles.
Having other family members call them or come to visit. The biggest thing you don't want to do is argue with them, because now you've put a dampened spirit on something that you want them to feel good about. And if you argue, you're not going to change their mind.
Nope.
They know what they know. You're not going to change their mind. You have to keep a face, a friendly tone. That's the other thing. Those with dementia, they may not understand what you're saying, but they can sure read your face.
Right. And remember, it goes back to that feeling. So if they're missing home, they're missing comfort, they're missing safety, they're missing familiarity. So however you can ease them and let them know that you are here with me and you're safe. Or do you remember last time we were here, we did this? And we try to do that when I take my parents to my home. My mother always says, "Oh, I remember we used to come here so often." I doubt she remembers, but she says it, which means she remembers the feeling. Right. So she always liked to cook at my house. So I always try to leave something for her to do so that she can feel like she's being helpful.
She's being used, right, and doing something purposeful. And the biggest thing, I know, even with bathing, with when I want to go home, is when they have dementia, they need consistency and they need a schedule. A routine that you have to stick to. So if it's at every day, this time of the day, you're going to take a shower, they know what's going to happen. They know when it's going to happen, and there's no surprises. The same with when they get to that moment. Sometimes even if they have sundowners, which that is something that chemically goes off in the brain, usually around dinner time, where their brain chemically starts getting very frustrated and agitated. But if you keep a routine in place, this is when we eat dinner, this is when we take a shower, it's gonna lessen the anxiety and the stress.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a big part of when we take my mother out of her community. A part of that, I want to go home, really is.
It's a big deal. And you know what? None of these are magic pills. So we can say, this is what you do and give them a shower and have them eat it. You're going to have days where it is not going to work, and it's okay. They're still not going to want to take a shower. They're still not going to want to eat dinner. They still are going to obsess and fixate that they want to go home. As long as you can stay calm and stay friendly and keep a friendly expression on your face, the situation will pass, even if it's to take them outside and go for a walk.
But that routine is so important. Having them in a routine, getting them into routine, whether you have your loved one that you're caring for home or in a community, that every time we've had to move my mother and that routine changes, or we have to take her out of that routine for something, I really have to kind of double think, is it worth taking her out of her routine for this event or dinner or lunch or whatever it is, because that routine helps her stay on track and it gives her that feeling of safety and continuity and consistency.
Right. And when you change that, or you change conversations on them, or you move them maybe from independent living to assisted living to memory care, literally their brain goes off like a snow globe. It shakes around like a snow globe, and sometimes it can take a couple of months before things calm down and they're able to kind of get back into a routine and feel comfortable and not feel stressed out. So it is. Those with dementia, they're doing the best they can to make things come together. And as we've talked about before, their brain is actually atrophied and pocketing holes. So what they used to be able to remember, that's why they ask you the same question over 15 times. They can't remember it anymore because there's a hole there.
It's fallen into a little black hole.
It's in the black hole. They cannot retain it. So a good routine is most important.
And I will say, you mentioned if someone is moving, if they're moving from independent to assisted, or if they're moving from their home into a community like that for the first time, whether it's a memory care or independent or assisted, we deal with that a lot. And if you can take some of their belongings, a lot of times I deal with families or the adult children, and they said, "Oh no, we're moving them to a new home or a new apartment, and I want them to have all new things. I want them to, redecorate." Well, often I have to kind of chime in and say, it's really helpful if they have their stuff, the stuff that they're used to, whether it's as simple as their bed and their nightstand that they're used to, or the coffee table they're used to,
their
or
favorite blanket, or
their favorite blanket, or their couch, or even a painting that used to hang on the wall. It may not match their new home in their community, but if they're used to it, and they have some kind of emotional bond to it, or it's just something that's been hanging in their home for the last 10 years, it's important to keep that in mind when you're moving them.
And we hear that a lot too, where they say, you know, we're going to move mom and dad into such and such, and we're going to get, oh, his couch is terrible. That thing is like 50 years old. We're going to, no. Does he love that couch?
Yes.
Keep the couch.
Keep it.
Wait till he gets there for a little bit and swap it out, but keep as many things as you can that are going to bring them comfort and familiarity, and they're going to know that that's theirs.
Without cluttering it.
Without cluttering it.
Right.
Right. And that's hard too, for them not to clutter. And very often the same thing when they have dementia, they talked about, Teepa Snow had taught me this too, that their peripheral vision goes from a normal, you know, where your hands are about out to here, all the way down to almost where they're wearing binoculars right in front of you. So often they're going to have everything around them, newspapers, mail, their phone, the phone bill, 47,000 sticky notes, all on top of them because they have no peripheral vision.
Right.
They can't see what's to the right or to the left or up or down. So if you can help with the clutter, but sometimes clutter goes hand in hand, especially with bathroom items, right?
Oh, absolutely. I spent many hours just this weekend. My mother is at the point where she is finding it difficult to take a shower due to the dementia, and part of it was her crowded bathroom. So spent definitely some time this weekend decluttering her bathroom. But it is time for a commercial break.
Yep.
So please join
Join
us.
us.
After this commercial break, we have some amazing guests I'm excited to have with us for our next segment. Ellen Goodwin and Heather Nickerson from Artifacts. And we can hear all from them. So please join us after the commercial break.
See you soon.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. Indulge in a maintenance-free retirement or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
You love your mom and dad, and they've always been there for you, always taken care of you. But now they could use a hand, and sometimes more help than you can provide. Thankfully, there's Senior Helpers, experts in Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's care. We can help you transition from a hospital stay to home, or just help your loved one with assistance with their everyday needs. Visit seniorhelpers.com to learn more. Discover why Senior Helpers is senior care, only better.
Are you considering selling your home? Are you considering downsizing? Are you considering a transition to an independent or assisted living community? Are you considering moving to be closer to your family? Do you need a home more conducive to aging in place? If so, you want to talk to Shane Silver, co-host of Senior Strategies and Senior Real Estate Specialist. Shane and her real estate team are extremely knowledgeable and experienced when it comes to helping seniors and their families make life's important transitions. Shane will guide you every step of the way, making the transition as stress-free as possible. To schedule a no-obligation consultation, call 561-735-3030.
About 60 million baby boomers refuse to leave a financial burden on their loved ones, but 70% of them have unsuitable life insurance or are unaware that it may expire. With final expenses significantly rising, don't leave your family unprotected. If you have an old policy or purchased guaranteed coverage, don't take any risks. Gain peace of mind with a policy review. Mention Senior Strategies and it's free. Call Pivotal Life today at 561-412-5500. That's 561-412-5500, because family and legacy are worth protecting.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shane. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information, or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and happy Halloween.
Thanks.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you for coming back. We have some amazing guests who are going to be joining us. Do we have them? Let's see. They are Zooming in today. Yes, we do. Welcome. Hi. I would like everyone to give a warm welcome to Ellen Goodwin and Heather Nickerson from Artifct. Artifct is an amazing solution to unite objects in our lives with their stories, help us declutter without guilt, and ensure that our stories, not just objects, live on for generations. Welcome, Heather and Ellen. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having us. We're delighted to be here, and happy Halloween.
Thank you. Same to you. I'd love you ladies to tell us a little bit about the backstory, how this came to be, and how you thought this up, and exactly what it is.
Sure. So I can start a bit with the backstory, how we're here and what we came up with, and then turn over to Ellen to share a bit about what Artifacts really is and how powerful it is. So my name's Heather Nickerson, co-founder and CEO of Artifacts. That's ARTIFCTS.com. And for me, the genesis of Artifacts started with actually the passing of my mother. It was nearly 7 years ago, and she passed away very unexpectedly. And being the eldest and only girl, my brothers turned to me and said, "Good luck with that estate." My mother had left us 6,000 square feet of stuff that we had to figure out what on earth do we do with. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
With all that stuff.
Plan. Exactly. She was a planner. Like, she had an estate plan. She'd dotted the I's, crossed the T's, except she never took time to fill out her tangible asset memorandum. So we knew what to do with the property, the retirement accounts, but we had no idea what she wanted us to do with all that stuff. From the thousands of books, to her jewelry, to her china, to her artwork. We knew some things had value, but we didn't know what mattered most to her. And since we all wanted to keep the things that had the heart value, that would tell her story, we had no way of knowing that. And in my own situation, 7 months later, I was still trying to sort through stuff and figure out what was what.
You never realize, we don't realize how much we accumulate over time.
No, exactly. And how much stuff can fit into that amount of space. Like, we're talking linen closets, and just, you accumulate over 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You accumulate a lot.
And very often those things are memorable things to them. So in their mind, those are priceless items that they can't get rid of, and they hope that you want them when you get them. So that's often, like you say, it's a good conversation to have before you get to that point. Like, let's clean some of this out right now.
Mm-hmm. It's a great conversation. And in our case, my mother was the family keeper. So we had things that were generations, 3-4 generations, ago, but only she knew what they were. So I was in her jewelry box looking at something, being like, did she buy it at an antique shop? Is it a family heirloom? Am I supposed to keep it for my daughter and pass it down, like the line? I had no idea. And the only person that would have known was my mother, but she was gone. So that frustration with that experience is what led us to build Artifacts. We spent years and years doing research, thinking that there had to be an easy way to connect the story and the history and the value with all the stuff. And we found that there wasn't. There were a ton of photo books or memory books or story books, but nothing that dealt with the stuff. So I will let Ellen describe a bit about how we deal with the stuff and how we help you ensure that your story, your history, that all goes along with the actual stuff.
Awesome.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Ellen.
Thanks for letting me join. I got my bats. I'm here.
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I'll piggyback on that. So the answer for Heather in her situation was not an Excel sheet. It wasn't an inventory. It wasn't Post-it notes. Don't you dare stick those on. They're just going to fall off, and you know that siblings are going to swap them. So we needed something that could convey the stories, right? We wanted more than stuff. And so we wanted to build something that is as simple as social media. We're all really good at taking a picture and posting it and sharing it. So we want something that simple, but much more powerful. Every artifact you create, which combines a photo, story, video with a few details about an object, that could be a photo, as you mentioned earlier. It could be a memento that you have from travel. It could be a wedding gift that you received 40 years ago. Whatever it is, you capture it on Artifacts. It's automatically private and secure. And then you can decide, share it with friends and family, send it to an estate planner. Make sure that you give people not just who gets what, but the why and the story that goes with it. Make sure it's on your insurance policy. Is it covered for that move? You know,
that's a good idea too. Yeah, make sure it's insured.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Make sure you're ready. So it's preparing people, it's having people connect today. I guarantee you, I know my parents better today with Artifacts than I've ever known them. We're not all very good at sitting and listening to stories. But that was the premise of what we built, both on our website and our mobile app.
And what's the website again?
artifcts.com. We took out that second A. We say we're redefining artifacts. It doesn't have to belong in a museum or a collection or be intrinsically valuable. It's something that means something to you.
And is that the best way that they can get in touch with you, or do you have a phone number that you would like to use as well?
We always encourage people to reach out, hello@artifacts.com. We check it regularly. And we also encourage people to follow along. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we have a great newsletter as well. We've touched on
That's where
so
we
many
met.
topics.
I will
That's
say
right.
it is so much fun. I turned one of my clients onto it just last week. I think it was a third client, because I deal with a lot of downsizing, moving people from their home into assisted and independent living communities. And I was sitting around this table with this lovely woman and her son, and the rest of the family was coming in, and she's looking at me, and she has collected things from, she traveled all over the world. But like we said before, it means something to her.
It's priceless to them.
It is.
Priceless.
But her children look at it and they're like, we don't use China. We're not going to use China.
Clutter.
We don't collect whatever this is, the turtles that my mother or grandmother was collecting. So I said, oh my God. And I looked at the son. I said, give me your phone. I downloaded the app. I said, you are going to go around her home, and whatever she's not taking with her, you're going to record her telling the story behind it, because she started pointing all this stuff out to me and I couldn't remember. And I'm not the one that needs to know. Her kids and her grandkids needed to know. And they loved it. And she texted me 2 days later. The son texted me and goes, I think we're filling up the app. Like, can this go on forever? Because this woman had a lot of stuff, a lot.
And how long have you been doing this?
We just celebrated
We've
our
been in
second
business
birthday.
for.
Ah, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And how did you two meet?
That's a really fun story. So Ellen and I met at the Central Intelligence Agency. We were both Intel analysts. You don't hear that every day, but we grew up together, going through training together, and also seeing how hard each other worked. We knew we were super duper hard workers and really data driven. And we also, of course, valued privacy and security. So we both were headhunted out to go run and grow different companies, myself a privacy and security company, Ellen a data technology company. And then we reunited, actually as after my mother passed away. And I sent Ellen flowers, because one of the big things with my mother was that people sent flowers that she hadn't spoken to in years. Aww. And one of my takeaways was don't waste flowers when they're gone. Like, send your friend flowers today. You know, make that connection, have that moment. So I sent her flowers, and we reconnected, and here we are.
Wow, I love that.
Artifact the flowers.
Right.
You artifact the flowers. One of the things that Ellen and I had talked about was all the other great ways that the app can be used, right? So fill us in on those and some of the ways that other people can use it, just in addition to what kind of we were talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, the decluttering is a very popular theme, right? And that comes straight from one of our board advisors, Matt Paxton, has a book, Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff. And after 20 years of clearing out homes and help people downsize, he said his biggest conclusion was if you give people a safe and secure way to capture that story, if you don't just say, take photos and then it's gone 50,000 photos later and you've forgotten it, if you give them a way to tell the stories, they're a lot more inclined to be able to let go of things that they need to let go of, whether that's rehoming, recycling, or whatever, selling it. So that's one way that we really do see people helping. Now, people who are moving, people who are downsizing, that kind of falls into the similar area where you have to reckon with it. It's not all going to fit. And what are you going to take with you? And how do you let your family and friends know what the things are? We want you to be able to artifact them, tell them the story, just quickly record the audio, attach it to the artifact, on you go, right? So that's really important. Estate planning is another big theme. It's really frustrating how many people have a tangible assets memorandum that's empty. And why not? Everyone hates to-do lists. You know, they sit there, and your attorney or whomever's helping you will nag you about it. But it's hard to get people to actually get stuff done that way. And so that's another thing. We are just about to launch into the area of brain health research as well. And you talked about memory care. You know, we've taken small steps. We know that people who are providing companion care, whether you're the caregiver as a family member or you're someone that's brought in to do non-medical care providing, you know, companion care, artifacting is a great activity. It gives you a place to have a conversation. It's not a generic 20 questions. I have a loved one with dementia. If I ask a very distant sort of question, she can get stuck for quite a while trying to answer it, or she just gives me some answer to try and answer it. If instead I say, here's this object, and it happens to be from her first wedding anniversary, out comes a story in a blink, right? So it provides caregivers a way to capture their attention and bring joy and happiness. And guess what? If you artifact it, you can share that with the family too. So not only does the person you're working with have that great moment and conversation, but the family benefits too.
And the endorphins that probably go off when they flood their brain with the memory of that thing, whether it's a wedding, it's a birth of a child. I have a gentleman in memory care that I go visit, and I bring baby dolls, and he loves to see the baby dolls. And because my last name is Decker, he now feels that I am a relative of his best friends of him up in New Jersey. So I'm now Amy Decker, the family of Lil and Phil, and I sit and talked about, and every time I leave, he rubs his heart and he says, "You have warmed my heart. Such beautiful memories. It's so sweet." I'm going to cry. It's so sweet because you bring memories to them that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tears at Artifacts.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, with memory comes emotion. So whether it's a birth of a baby, it's a best friend, some of these, you know, with dementia, they've probably been by themselves a long time, or lonely and sad in a house or in a community.
And we talk about how emotions, again, the emotion part of your brain is the last thing to go. So they might not remember the memory, but they remember the emotion
feeling
behind it. She remembers the emotion of her first wedding anniversary and what they did and how it made her feel. So.
And you spoke earlier about transfer trauma and the risk of transfer trauma with those who have dementia.
Huge.
And one way that we can combat that is by keeping those familiar, heartwarming objects around them. But you have to be able to understand what those are. And that's where you have a walk around the room and you ask them what matters to them. They get to stay in control, and they get to surround themselves in their next home with those things that make them feel comfortable. And the artifacts help with that process.
And we talked about also using it in independent and assisted communities for the staff to get to know the residents.
Right. It is a good way. And so it's the same thing. If they're saving recipes, they can talk about a recipe. The staff can show, you know, they'll know what's in that room, a little picture of a Hummel, those little Hummels that everybody collected for 5,000 years that you see there might be a couple of those little Hummels that they have to have and save because it means something to them. Might not mean anything to us, but for care staff too, it's good to know.
Yeah, it's good for them to get to know their residents.
Right. And we even had we have a resident now that she has in her mind, this lamp was priceless, and the glass globe broke. and we couldn't find a replacement for her, and we tried, and she's like, was sure that it was worth millions of dollars. And, so it's sad. It's certain things break. It might not be worth $3, but to them it's
everything.
$5 million. Yeah. So I think what you do is great. I think it's wonderful. And who would you say is your best referral? Who do you want getting in contact with you? Families that are dealing with it, communities, who?
I'd say families that are dealing with it, like either you're dealing with moving a loved one, downsizing, you're having to make those tough decisions, or you're a family caregiver and you want a way to bring joy and happiness to your daily routine and help them build and preserve their legacy. That's a great intro. Another great one is if you're in the estate planning process. Either you're doing it with your family, with your loved one, or if you know of folks who have their own estate planning firms and businesses. We are trying really hard to ensure that families aren't kind of left in the lurch that I was with my mother. I mean, she had an estate plan, but she never did that tangible asset memorandum.
So elder law attorneys. So elder law attorneys really could be one of your good referral sources. Absolutely. That you could go to elder law firms and offer this product saying this is what we do. And when you put their living will together, when you put the power of attorney or the healthcare surrogate, make this part of the plan so that would be a great referral source too.
Yes, that would be an excellent referral source. It would also be an excellent benefit to the family. They're getting not just the stuff, but the stories, the history, and in some cases, value. You never know just by looking at an item.
And I also want to say, too, it's not just for seniors, because I, too, Artifact, I am a keeper of stuff. My husband is a thrower awayer. I am a keeper. And since being introduced to this, I've started so that I can declutter my home a little bit, too.
And so then our next guest goes hand in hand with this. And Claudia Wechter is with Senior Advantages, and she does placement in communities. And so after the commercial, come back, and we're going to introduce you to Claudia.
Please come back. Thank you, Ellen and Heather. We'll see you again shortly.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. Indulge in a maintenance-free retirement or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
You love your mom and dad, and they've always been there for you, always taken care of you. But now they could use a hand, and sometimes more help than you can provide. Thankfully, they're senior helpers, experts in Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's care. We can help you transition from a hospital stay to home, or just help your loved one with assistance with their everyday needs. Visit seniorhelpers.com to learn more. Discover why Senior Helpers is senior care, only better.
Are you considering selling your home? Are you considering downsizing? Are you considering a transition to an independent or assisted living community? Are you considering moving to be closer to your family? Do you need a home more conducive to aging in place? If so, you want to talk to Shane Silver, co-host of Senior Strategies and Senior Real Estate Specialist. Shane and her real estate team are extremely knowledgeable and experienced when it comes to helping seniors and their families make life's important transitions. Shane will guide you every step of the way, making the transition as stress-free as possible. To schedule a no-obligation consultation, call 561-735-3030.
About 60 million baby boomers refuse to leave a financial burden on their loved ones, but 70% of them have unsuitable life insurance or are unaware that it may expire. With final expenses significantly rising, don't leave your family unprotected. If you have an old policy or purchased guaranteed coverage, don't take any risks. Gain peace of mind with a policy review. Mention Senior Strategies and it's free. Call Pivotal Life today at 561-412-5500. That's 561-412-5500. Because family and legacy are worth protecting.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shane. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Hi, welcome back to Senior Strategies. We're so glad you joined us. We've got a wonderful guest that just goes hand in hand with the guests that we just talked to, and her name is Claudia Wechter. She is with Senior Advantages, and so she is going to talk about, although we talked about decluttering and moving them into communities, that's what Claudia does. She moves them into communities. She helps them find the perfect community for them. And so, Claudia, welcome, and we're happy to have you. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into this.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me here. So this is a really unique story. This happened 28 years ago where you didn't have your online services. You just had like, what do I do? I have to move my mom into either an independent or assisted living community. I don't know where to go, what to do. So I decided to come with the idea of representing several independent assisted living communities, memory cares, and a lot of small private home settings. So my goal behind was to make sure that I was able to walk those families in distress when you have literally 24 hours to relocate mom into a brand new home, because having mom home is no longer an option because of the level of care, because she has memory issues, because of whatever the stories are. I came up with like a concierge service. So my Senior Advantages, what we do, and we still do it today statewide, representing over 4,000 communities all over.
Wow.
We meet face-to-face with our clients. We evaluate what your needs are. Location, level of care, budget. It's a free service. We work with you guys, with our families, our case managers, our professionals, on putting together the best home settings for that specific family member, loved one that we have. We set up.
Everybody has a different budget. Everyone has a different. Some might want a big giant community. Some might want a very small 6-bed assisted living.
Everyone has different needs,
yes,
different levels
exactly,
of care.
Exactly.
We cater to everybody, and that's why we meet, sit down, go over like every single need, identify best options, set up the tours. We'll go together, our account executives will go together with our clients, or mom or dad, whomever is moving in. We'll tour the properties, we'll meet the DON, we'll meet the ED, we'll have lunch at the different properties, and ultimately we'll help you find that place that will be home.
And sometimes you have time to make that decision where they're like, well, we're thinking about it, so we're going to tour. Other times they're in rehab or they're in the hospital and they have to get a place stat. How does that work?
Our teams are trained to like work it within 24 hours. So if this church is, example, we have a client that needs to be relocated into an assisted living, family lives in California, you have 24 hours because they don't meet criteria to go into a nursing home, so you have to transition to AL because home is not an
AL
option.
stands for,
Assisted living.
Yes.
right, just for people that don't understand the hyphen. Yeah, good.
Yeah, for assisted living. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so we put together everything. We work together with the son, daughter, California, send pictures, show them the tours of the different places, help expedite the whole move.
Wow.
Work with professionals that can help us move personalized stuff from home to make sure that the next home feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a complete team approach on making sure that 24-hour new home it's already in place.
And it's seamless.
not always. We
Well,
try
not
to
all-
make
no.
it. We try
Some
to
Things are out of our control.
Exactly.
Some things are
exactly.
out of our control.
We absolutely try to make it as seamless as possible.
But you probably find the same thing where the kids go, let's get rid of that old junky couch. Let's get rid of that bed and get them a new one, where it's really very helpful for them to keep some of those older things because it has a memory.
True, but at that time, within our 24, 48 hours, we
Who has
don't have
time to
those
do
options.
any of that? Exactly.
We
Right.
have, like,
right.
Move mom, safe setting.
She's getting the same bed, same couch, same chair. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a matter of safety.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So we work like that, going into either independent with additional care on the side or assisted living with additional care on the side. Every case is different, or memory care with some additional care on the side, or financially, if we are dealing with a high level of care, we work a lot with very small communities that are owned by nurses where you're literally getting almost 24/7 nursing care.
Wow. So your placement then can be from a nursing home, a hospital, or rehab to go into a community, or they can be in a private home, and then you're going to find a community for them too. So you've got, depending on the phone call, it's a challenge. It's whatever cards you get dealt at that time and go, here we go. And we got 24 hours to get it together.
There you go.
That's-
And we are able to find Spanish speaking.
Oh, that's great.
Kosher communities.
And this
because
has
we
gone
have
on for how
those.
many years?
28,
20
29. I was literally the founder of like the placement business.
All right. What's your phone number?
1-800-748-2129.
One more time.
1-800-748-2129.
All right. We're going to go to a commercial and then we're going to come back and all of us are going to talk together about just this whole process. So join us.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. Indulge in a maintenance-free retirement or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
You love your mom and dad, and they've always been there for you, always taken care of you. But now they could use a hand, and sometimes more help than you can provide. Thankfully, they're senior helpers. Experts in Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's care. We can help you transition from a hospital stay to home, or just help your loved one with assistance with their everyday needs. Visit seniorhelpers.com to learn more. Discover why Senior Helpers is senior care, only better.
Are you considering selling your home? Are you considering downsizing? Are you considering a transition to an independent or assisted living community? Are you considering moving to be closer to your family? Do you need a home more conducive to aging in place? If so, you want to talk to Shane Silver, co-host of Senior Strategies and Senior Real Estate Specialist. Shane and her real estate team are extremely knowledgeable and experienced when it comes to helping seniors and their families make life's important transitions. Shane will guide you every step of the way, making the transition as stress-free as possible. To schedule a no-obligation consultation, call 561-735-3030.
About 60 million baby boomers refuse to leave a financial burden on their loved ones, but 70% of them have unsuitable life insurance or are unaware that it may expire. With final expenses significantly rising, don't leave your family unprotected. If you have an old policy or purchased guaranteed coverage, don't take any risks. Gain peace of mind with a policy review. Mention Senior Strategies and it's free. Call Pivotal Life today at 561-412-5500. That's 561-412-5500, because family and legacy are worth protecting.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shane. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming back after the commercial break. Claudia was just about to tell us one of her amazing stories of placement. Please share with our listeners.
So obviously my stories are never the best stories because you're never ready to like move into an assisted living. However, sometimes we don't have options. And we had a situation, and this is how our teams are key on helping anybody that is in need of relocating into like an independent, assisted, memory care or small home care setting. So we had this lady that it happened that she had to go to the hospital. So she was 911, but she had a dog. The dog was not able to stay by himself at the house. The police ended up taking the dog. Our team followed up our client to the hospital. We followed up with the case manager. We were working with them the whole process, working with like financially where she's at, what is the best fit, how can we place her. Well, true story, an amazing story. We were able to find a home setting for her. She's actually still there. She complained about the burgers, but she loved it then. But the best,
Pick your battles. Pick your battles.
Right.
the best part of the story is after all of this transition of like 5-7 days stay at a hospital, then you cannot go home and you have to like go and relocate into a new place. We facilitated for her to go and have everything preset at the assisted living. And needless to say, our account executive worked together with the police department to bring her dog where she was living. That is, she's so happy. I have pictures. That is
awesome.
an
That's
awesome
so
story.
sweet. I can watch sad movies and somebody gets killed or the car goes off the cliff, but man, if an animal gets hurt, I'm crying my eyes out. So I'm happy to hear
That they were
she got her dog
reunited.
back.
But you know what?
Aw.
Not too many people have advocates
Right.
that will do that.
Very few have advocates.
Very few.
Very few. And so that even can tie us hand in hand into with Ellen and Heather, just talking about the things that are important to the seniors then and getting artifacts together, because now Claudia gets those portions of it. But now if we can have Ellen and Heather back on, it's the same thing. We don't realize what are important to them. And to her, obviously, her car and her dog
Right.
was a big deal.
And to other people, it's not. It might be something they collected while they were traveling or a gift they got for their anniversary.
Right. And so we're happy to include everybody back, kind of to have conversation together. And like Claudia said, I mean, there's every situation is different, whether they're planning it and they've taken months to find the perfect place to be placed, or it's an emergency, which I'm not sure. Now, Heather and Ellen, do you find many that it's an emergency situation that they want to get this app going because they have to move immediately? What do you find?
Hi, I'll take that. Heather just went dark. So, I would say that artifacts that you create end up being a roadmap. If you're trying to go through someone's house and you want to know what's important, you can start with their artifacts. But it's not generally something that's a 24-hour turnaround, as we were just hearing about. That would be very unlikely because that's emergency situation. We hope you're not there. That's why we say that this is not just a product. This is a way of life. We artifact on a regular basis. We're always prepared. I shouldn't keep saying this, I guess, but I do tell people, I get hit by a bus tomorrow, my daughter will know me by my artifacts, right? But that's the value of artifacts.
Goodness gracious.
But it is a great way, like I said, even for young people to start, not every tangible item needs to stay with you forever if you have the story and the feeling and the meaning behind it, right? And even for Claudia too, not every situation has to be a 24-hour turnaround, right? The more planning, and we talk about this all the time, we've had multiple elder care attorneys and estate planning attorneys on here. The sooner you can start planning and the sooner you can do your research, really is better for the whole family, especially the senior involved.
And our next day is not guaranteed. So it doesn't matter what age you are. You should start planning now, like powers of attorney, healthcare surrogates. I know when I worked for Solkoff Legal for many years, we provided a living will. And what we did was encourage families that when their kids went off to college.
Yes.
And this living will comes, they put it together on a little disc. So it's about the size of a driver's license and a little pop out. It's like it goes right into a
hard drive.
A hard drive. So while they're in the ambulance, especially if they're in college, they've had fun one night, they got hazed, whatever. They can pop that into the ambulance. They find out who's in charge, what their blood type is, what their wishes are. If they don't have it and they're 18, forget it. The parents can't
get
speak
involved.
for them.
Yes, we had
so
to do that with my daughter.
Your product, the same thing. It's anybody, any age. We're not guaranteed. I mean, sadly, look at from Friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Unexpected. Matthew Perry drowned.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going to happen. So to have things in place, to have our favorite things together, our legal papers and together,
And I want to say that down here in Florida, especially, we're in Florida and we are a very, very transient state. So we have a lot of seniors here whose families and adult children or not. So
Right.
if you're here, I know that Amy said that her company always sees a little bump after the holidays, after the family
yeah.
comes in and really sees the condition of mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. Now's a good time. Start the artifacting, start meeting with someone like Claudia so that when the time comes,
They know
you
what to
don't
move
have-
and what's
It doesn't
important.
have to be a rush. It
And
doesn't have to be a rush.
Mom and dad can
And
sound
this
good
is-
over the phone because they can fake it. They can fake it and sound good over the phone. Then come Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. That's when the family comes down and then they realize, oh, good Lord, this is not a good situation. So it's a good time to get everything in order.
Exactly. And to your point, both of you, this is why we think it's a great way when someone comes and tours your community, whether it's independent living, it's assisted living, it's memory care. We think Artifacts is a great gift to give them to help them on their journey to being better prepared for that move. Now, hopefully they're hiring, a senior move manager, whomever to help them. But this is a great gift. It's not another knickknack. It's not something to throw away. It's not a gift card, but they can actually get your help in being better prepared. And when they come in, you're going to know them better. It's not a one-time questionnaire. Oh, they like sailboats. Great. Let's only talk about sailboats. If they love chocolate, let's give them chocolate every time. They're going to know you better because
That is
you
a
give
great
them the
gift.
shared artifact.
That is
Yeah.
a great gift. That really is good. Tell us again your website.
It's artifacts.com, ARTIFCTS.com. We took out that second A so that we tell people we're redefining artifacts.
I love it.
And it's great. And so then if you have clients that come to you or family members that come to you now, Claudia, that have artifacts in place, that's something that you can use to help them decide what to take with them. And again, what's your number to call?
1-800-748-2129. I think it's also really important that I say our services are free.
That's huge to say, yes.
We do not charge our clients. We are not charging the insurance company. We're not charging the hospital. Our services are free.
And that's giant because I do deal with the family dynamics very often. And the first thing they want to, we don't know where to look. We live in New York. We don't even know where to begin. And I'll talk about placement companies. Well, we can't afford it. It's not in our budget. There's no cost. There's no cost. And you're doing legwork for people. And these are emotional decisions that you're making. Like, this is huge.
Forgot to mention something also really important. We're statewide. We're not just Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. We have a statewide coverage.
So the entire state of Florida. Oh, that's great.
Pasco, Pinellas, Sarasota, Naples.
And it's the same number,
Same number.
statewide. Say it again.
Yep. 1-800-748-2129.
And Artifacts, one more time, your website.
ARTIFCTS.com.
And that would also, I'm thinking, elder law attorneys, that would be great when they're doing their planning. But honestly, placement companies would be great for you too, to talk to placement companies to say, this is a great thing that they can get in place, especially if it's not an emergency situation, but they're just kind of starting the footwork, like you said, for the family to get it together and say, this is a gift to you, mom and dad. We feel that this is going to be a benefit to you. That's awesome.
And I do want to say for all those people out there who are considering moving their loved ones.
It's huge.
When we had to find a place for my mom and dad, we used a service similar to Claudia, and It took so much stress away. I would not have known where to start, how to begin, where to look. And it really made the decision and the decision making so much easier for all of us involved, including my parents, who were the ones that we had to move. So it really,
and it's a giant emotional decision. So
It
you're
is.
taking your parents from a home. You've got to try and find a place that fits within their budget, within the activities, within the proximity of where other family members are living. It's a huge decision. And so that takes so many factors into place that somebody like Claudia can make sure they take that spreadsheet and figure out exactly what they're looking for, and she'll make sure
We bring the solution.
you bring the solution.
yes. Now, if they can just get rid of the guilt, that would be amazing.
Right.
Because there was a factor of that as well.
Yes.
You know, that, I would love to take care of them on my own, and I did for very, very long. But there comes a time when it's just not in their best interests, that there are people and communities trained, and people like Claudia can help you find the best fit.
And so this is the reason that we have the show. We are Senior Strategies Tools for the Caregiver. And caregiver can be somebody local, like a spouse. It can also be children that live out of state. So we want to bring you the tools and strategies to make your journey a little bit easier. Feel free to go onto our website, onto our Facebook page or Instagram, which is seniorstrategies.pb. Whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. You can also send us an email. Maybe there's a topic that you're looking for. Maybe there's something we haven't touched. Maybe we have a guest on today that you would like to talk to, or you have more questions about them. Please reach out to us. That's why we're here.
Our goal is to be a resource for you as your caregiver, whether you're a senior, whether you're a caregiver, whether you're the adult child. We want to know that there are resources out there for you. We know that being a caregiver could be lonely, could be frustrating. It doesn't have to be. If there's a topic we haven't touched upon yet that you're interested in, or a resource we haven't talked about yet that you know of and we may not, please reach out. Again, you can always email us at seniorstrategies.pb@gmail.com. You can reach out to us through Facebook or Instagram or our YouTube page, and that's what we're here for. We hope that we have provided you with some resources you didn't know existed.
And if you go to our page, you can watch all of our previous shows. So if you missed a couple of shows, it's good to go back and see who we had on. So you've got wonderful people like our guests today that really are going to be able to help you. We look forward to seeing you again.
And we look forward to seeing you at our next in-person support group, right?
And that is at Allegro.
Senior Living. And our next one is the third Thursday.
It's the third Thursday of every month at 3:00 at Allegro on Hagen Ranch in Boynton Beach.
Yes. So thank you so much to all of our guests that were with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with our viewers and our listeners. Again, we hope that all the caregivers out there find something they can use, just so that they know that there are resources
That's
out there
it.
for them.
Right. So join us again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you next time on Senior Strategies.
Thank you for joining us today on Senior Strategies. We hope that you found the tools and the strategies that we offered you beneficial for your journey as a caregiver. We want you to leave today feeling empowered and supported.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for upcoming shows and events. For more information, to schedule a consultation, or to join a support group, please contact us at 561-800-6654.
And remember the strategies
And tools you can use
to make your journey easier.